So this is a quick video just on the Mikasa, the tour we did that day, and we're on the rear deck having a look at the rear 12-inch 30cm main gun, and you can see the two shells, the armor piercing and the high explosive. The high explosive is the smaller one, the brown one. The Mikasa is the only ship of its type still in existence that you can go and visit in the entire world. So this is the original teak decking from the 1900s. So 1910 was when the ship was made, I think. And that's still the original. The rest of it's all been replaced. And one of the key features of this ship was that it had a radio system. And they could communicate between the ships, and it made a big difference in the Tsushima Strait battle. So we're starting here on the top deck at the front and just having a look at that's the view looking forward. Japanese flag. And there are the anchor chains. As part of the Washington Treaty, the ship had to be taken off the register, but rather than having it dismantled, they encased it in concrete so that it couldn't be used anywhere ever again. The forward guns are 40 caliber 12-inch guns as well. Just imagine the sound they would have made when they were going off. So, looking past the main gun, you can see the conning tower, the forebridge and the bridge, and the main mast. So unfortunately you can't go down and have a look at the engines, but they are quite unusual. They're vertical triple expansion steam engines that were used a lot of that time. So we're in the conning tower here, and it's where you're supposed to fight the battle from, but the admiral that was involved in the major battle this ship was involved in famously wouldn't go in here for battles. He said he couldn't see enough to direct. What is really cool is that a lot of the signage on a lot of this equipment is all in English because, of course, it was built in England. Also, some of the restoration parts came from England because this ship was a modified formidable class vessel. Just have a look at the armour on that thing. So here we are up on the forebridge, which is where the battles were fought from. And you can see again British markings on all the stuff, partly restoration, partly some of them originals. Looking at the ship's compass there and the gear to call out. It was a really beautiful day. And looking back down there at the twin 12-inch main guns. So I've moved down to the rear foredeck, I suppose you'd call it, overlooking the rear gun there. A lot less equipment. Still got a compass. Looking at the stacks on the rear mast, just it's really tall. So I've shown you the two main guns, but the secondary armament on this ship was 14 40 caliber or 152 millimeter quick firing guns, 20 12-pound guns, 8 3-pound guns, 4 2.5-pound guns, and 8 Maxim machine guns, just in case. This is the view looking along the side of the ship from outside, and you can just see all those bristling guns. In the midsection here, you can see the 4 3-inch guns equipped. You can imagine these are for taking on smaller ships. In the two casements at either end, there's the 40 caliber 6-inch guns, which had a crew of about 8. So now we're down below decks, and the first room is the wardroom for the officers above lieutenant to commander. Young officers below the rank of lieutenant had a different room they went to. Now we're just looking at the admiral's sleeping quarters. Notice the bed with the sides up so he doesn't fall out. Very sparse, but still really well done. Really nicely timbered up for someone of his rank. Moving over to the admiral's saloon, you can notice one of the smaller guns mounted in. A couple of nice things in the room. This is where the very senior officers all had their meetings and meals. Very fancy, except for the fact that you've got two massive guns sitting on either side. This is the galley area where all their meals were prepared. This is the bathroom. This is a quick display of some of the equipment they have in their place, uniforms and clothing and equipment, all pretty cool. As I was walking out of this area, I noticed there was a huge display of model ships, and one of the people who worked there come and said to me, each one of these ships is actually handmade. They're not from a kit. Each ship in the Japanese fleet, or model of ship in it, the Japanese fleet, is actually displayed here. And it was amazing, the detail, being able to look through them all. And then when you look down the row and you realise this goes on for about 25 metres along this walkway. Somebody's gone to a lot of effort. There's all the destroyers, torpedo boats, the auxiliary ships, then you've got the submarines, and then you've got the pre-World War I vessels. Here's a model, a very detailed model of the Mikasa's sister ship. What's cool about this is that you can actually get a view of what it would have looked like in the 1920s when it was still fighting, unlike it's restored today. I'd imagine there's a lot more that could be said about this ship, but I just wanted to keep this one fairly brief, if 7 minutes is brief. It was a very cool ship and well worth the trip around it.